Okay, we're back for part 2 of my Europe trip where I had to face my American sugar addiction. In part 1, I covered my experience in Amsterdam where I was running around eating all types of stuff, trying to get something sweet and just couldn't quite get there. But because I ate so much, I managed to gain 3 pounds within the first few days of my trip. Yes, I did step on that scale during my vacation, but I wasn't too worried about my weight gain. I really just wanted to check in with myself. Now at this point, I'm not enjoying being away from my American high fructose corn syrup. But next, we're off to Belgium and I need me a waffle. If you're new here, make sure you like and subscribe and let's get into it. Bro, it's a video. My cousin is famous. We're so gay.
Don't say that.
It's pride.
No, it's not.
Oh wait, no. It's supposed to be.
Look at the ground and look at how it's positioned, man.
Bro, that shit still gonna tip over. See? It ain't just me. I didn't fail geometry. So honestly, there's really not a whole lot to say about Brussels because I only spent a day there and there was only one, maybe 2 things that I wanted really, really bad. 1, a Belgian waffle, and 2, some Belgian chocolate. By this point, I really feel like my taste buds were already shot all to hell and I was trying to adapt to not having things be as sweet. But I had my fingers crossed that I would at least enjoy the chocolate and waffles. It didn't take too long. Within just a couple of minutes of pulling into Brussels, I had me a fresh made Belgian waffle. Waffle? This is what I mean when I say I want a waffle, bro. Brody. Now, this city is a city of chocolate and gold. There was chocolate everywhere. I mean, I couldn't walk a block without running into some sort of chocolate shop. And the chocolate was actually very, very good. It wasn't too sweet. It was very, very rich and creamy. Like from the milk all the way to the dark chocolate was actually delicious and enjoyable. And since I had already taken my Zepbound shot at this point, I wasn't really all that hungry, so I didn't eat a lot of food while I was there. But after a full day of walking, we did decide to have like a late lunch, early dinner. On a scale of 1 to 10.
This is a 10.
It's a 10? Bro, I know songs. Let's try this again. Yeah, I forgot how I did it. Is it this way? Nope. Oh. Nope. I don't get how you're supposed to. Oh, okay. Maybe that one? For real. Nope. Can't do it. Once I ate, I was satisfied. My satiety kicked in right when it was supposed to. So at this point in my trip, Zepbound is doing its job. Then we head back to Amsterdam to prepare to fly to Zurich, Switzerland. cousin. See how happy I get when suddenly there's coffee available? No matter where I go in this world, Dunkin' isn't far behind. Now, Switzerland was interesting. This was probably my favorite segment of the trip. I did have a mission of sorts to try some fast food while I was in Europe. Now, unfortunately, I am a big fast food eater here in the US, so I wanted to see if there was gonna be a difference in the taste of some of the fast food chains in Europe. And it started out with KFC in the Zurich airport, which was absolutely awful. Like not even, like, it was offensively disgusting. It was bad. It was awful. It was terrible. Now, I'm no KFC cheerleader. I probably have KFC a couple of times a year. It just so happened that we had a very, 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 very long trip. And by the time we landed in Zurich, we just kind of ate at the food court and we picked KFC and it was gross. For one, it was less salty. Makes sense, not being in America. It didn't taste like it had any seasoning. I don't know. It was not good. 0 out of 10, would not recommend. But anyway, our hotel ended up being very, very far outside of the city. So we ended up essentially, not necessarily in the middle of nowhere, but almost. And coincidentally, the closest option to us was McDonald's. This was my second opportunity to try an American fast food chain in Europe. Now, originally, I just had coffee from there and a small fry and some chicken nuggets. The only reason I'm specifying what I actually had is because Zurich is expensive, y'all. Not just Zurich, but Switzerland might low-key be the devil, because those prices were like 3 to 4 times the US prices. It was crazy. I have a little theory about why some of these European countries are so thin still, even though obesity is sweeping the world. For one, stuff just costs way too much. And for two, when you do buy it, they only give you exactly what you ask for. This was probably one of the most interesting things about Switzerland as far as my eating was concerned. So for example, you know how if you go to a McDonald's in the US, they'll just throw a bunch of ketchup in the bag? Well, they don't do that here. They ask you how many you want when you're ordering on a little kiosk thingy, and it only goes up to 2, which means you can only have 2. I mean, I guess you could technically ask for some more at the counter, but they're not about to just go dump a bunch into the bag. Am I crazy? Anyway, the whole point about this McDonald's is that for one, you can't get a large anything. For two, they're only going to give you as much as you pay for. And if you want any extra, you have to pay for it and you specifically have to ask for it. And it seems like they don't very much so overindulge in anything when it comes to the food. I mean, not to say that you can't overindulge, but like you kind of got to work hard to overdo it with the food. And because we were in a bad location, unfortunately, when we would spend our long days out walking and, you know, really just not planning, just having long days, at the end of the night, McDonald's was the only option that we had as far as what was close to us. So that's what we ate. We treated it as a last resort and our pockets suffered for it. But as far as the taste, I would say it was good. It was okay. It didn't necessarily taste better than the US, but the portions were a lot smaller.
I forgot to mention, I had the most delicious McDonald's ketchup in Switzerland. So much so that since I've been back, I refuse to eat ketchup. I won't put ketchup on anything because I had the most I don't know what it is about this ketchup. I don't know if it's because it wasn't sweet or I don't know what kind of weird scientific monstrosity they had going on in that ketchup packet, or is our ketchup the scientific monstrosity? I don't know. But it was so good that I refuse to eat ketchup back home anymore. So, quick little sidebar. That was interesting.
Honestly, at this point, I hadn't really been seeking out anything sweet anymore. I guess the first day I got there, I did choose to have a blueberry muffin from McDonald's. I forgot to mention, but it wasn't very sweet. It was actually good. It was better than anything I found in Amsterdam. Amsterdam, just throw Amsterdam in the trash when it comes to the sugar because they ain't got none, okay? But the blueberry muffin at the McDonald's in Switzerland, it was reasonable. It was okay. It wasn't like with the extra sugar crystals, how we do it here in the States. No, the sugar correct that we do here. No, they didn't do all of that, but it was okay. It was good. But at this point in the trip, I had accepted my fate. It was what it was. I was not going to find the types of sweets that I wanted anywhere.
Delicious.
Thank you so much. By the end of my trip, I was honestly sick of eating out. And I accept that I made mostly poor eating decisions out of a lack of planning during my trip. I was looking forward to getting back home and making some changes. So we already know that I gained 3 pounds in the first part of my trip. But after going to Brussels and having waffles and chocolate and more Japanese food and then going to Switzerland and pretty much eating McDonald's every day, did I gain any more weight? Well, I did step on the scale when I got back home. The scale is my dog, okay? If you like, I have a special relationship with the scale because when I stopped stepping on the scale, I got to my highest weight ever in life. So me and the scale, we're joined at the hip, okay? But I stepped on the scale when I got home and I weighed in at, drum roll please, 187 pounds. Hello. So at the start of my trip, I was 184. About 3 to 4 days in my trip, I got up to 187, normal 3 to 5 pound fluctuation for my weight, for my body, I should say. And when I got home, after continuing to eat all the fast food and the junk food and all of that, I maintained the 187. To me, that's definitely a sign that the quality of the food was better. Yes, I did have my Zepbound, so no, I couldn't necessarily overindulge. But I think the types of foods that I was picking, had I been picking those same foods here, that 3 pound weight gain would have been closer to a 7 or 8 pound weight gain, even in 10 days. But wait, there's more. I'll do you one even better. I weighed in again after being home for a week. Now, I was stuck at home with the kitchen being renovated, so I had no access to a stove, a microwave. I did have an air fryer, but I had no way to clean it because there was no sink. So after eating out for 10 days in Europe, I spent another week eating out when I got back home. So surely I gained weight. I was almost scared to step on the scale, but like I said, that's my dog. So I know that no matter how I'm feeling, at least once a week, I have to check in with my weight. So my trip plus my week back home, after 2.5 weeks of eating out, I weighed in at 185 pounds. What the fuck? I'm not gonna lie, I was completely confused. Okay? Not only did I maintain my 3 pounds in Europe, but when I got home and continued, I dropped 2 pounds. I can't explain it. I don't know what happened. Anyway, the verdict is Europe was pretty hard on my sugar addicted American taste buds. There was a little bit of culture shock on the lack of overindulging and the smaller portions everywhere I went. Less sugar, less salt, less emphasis on trying to make food as addictive as possible. It definitely changed my attitude toward junk food back home. So, being at 185 pounds, nope, wait, I forgot. I weighed in again. See, it's because this video took too long. It took too long, all right? So technically, today is Sunday, and it's 2 weeks since I've been back. So I did weigh in again on Friday, and I'm 184 pounds. I'm down another pound. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. Let's just say I'm grateful, and I'm gearing up for my September challenge. I'm planning to lock in on weight training and building muscle and focusing less on the scale. So I'll be moving from a daily weigh-in model to a weekly, maybe bi-weekly weigh-in model. And I'm also titrating up to the 10 milligram after being on the 7.5 for 9 months. What a mess. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe and set your notification bell, okay? Because when I do my live streams, you want to be there while I'm live so that you can get through the full live stream. Because when I'm done, I move them to members only, okay? Unless you just want to become a member and be a little vain with me. But no, seriously, consider becoming a member for early access to new videos and members only videos. And sometimes a little bit of tea. Don't worry about that. So everyone is officially caught up on my weight loss progress. It's been a year since I've been on Zepbound and I still got another 50 pounds to lose, okay? So I'm gonna go get to doing something different with my life. Probably hydrating because my mouth is a little dry. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.